we were out here like 40 hours, freezing cold, replacing capacitors, getting everything up to spec for this, but this is the worth it moment. When you get to see kids, families, just coming out, being able to enjoy something in the community again.
I'm Zach Gribble, and I'm the Executive Director of Destination Stratford and also the Festival Director of Lights on Stratford. So Lights on Stratford originated last winter, as a response to the pandemic and the economic crisis facing Stratford, and in particular our tourism sector. So it was designed to actually employ a lot of the people from the theatre who were suddenly out of work as a result of the pandemic. And we know that in Stratford we have an incredible precious resource in the form of some of the world's best props designers, lighting designers, and creative people. So we decided to harness that and create Lights on Stratford, which would utilize and leverage our amazing park system and heritage downtown core with really creative and incredible lighting displays and experiences. We learned a lot from last year's Lights on Stratford Festival, and although it was intentionally designed to work within the constraints of the pandemic, it was all outdoors, there were no touch points. Even then, we ended up closing a bit early last year due to the stay-at-home order from the province. So working with that knowledge, we again created Lights on Stratford to be outdoors in the winter, no touch points, and we're really, really proud that this year we were able to remain open even during the lockdown periods. One of the main exhibits is on Tom Patterson Island, and it's called The Journey to the Stars. And a few years ago, the Stratford Summer Music Festival had brought Museum of the Moon, and a giant inflatable moon was on the island. So we decided we'd have to one-up that somehow, and the only way to do that was to bring the entire solar system there. So we have 1,000 lights overhead at Tom Patterson Island, and then we have the planets of our solar system, which are orbiting around a giant sun in the middle. And this has proven to be just insanely popular with a lot of sharing on social media and a lot of families really loving it. I will say, anyone over the age of 12 does not get the order of the planets correct, and anyone under absolutely nails it. So that's a really popular one with families. If we move over to Shakespearean Gardens, we have Shakespearean Gardens of 1,000 Lights. This one's actually near and dear to my heart because it was designed locally, it was built locally. The accompanying audio soundtrack was composed by an Ontario-based composer. And it was supposed to launch last year, but we couldn't because of the pandemic. So it's been in storage for a year. And so we were just thrilled to be able to install this amazing experience, which goes along the path of Shakespearean Gardens and culminates with an experience as it goes up the woolen tower mill in a flash of light that responds to your movement as you go through that trail. So just a really beautiful made in Stratford experience. And you'll see behind me here, we are in Market Square behind City Hall, and this has quite an amazing story. As I may have mentioned, the theme this year is Journey, and the Sky Castle behind me journeyed all the way from Australia, and it was an incredibly arduous journey. It got stuck in Port of Vancouver when there was just a terrible natural disaster in the BC flooding. So it was actually there for 6 weeks, which meant that we were late to launch it here. And when it arrived, it had been in a shipping container for months. We had to do technical fixes. So there was nothing easy or simple about this installation. But as you can hopefully hear behind me, the laughter and the joy that it's brought to the community and the patrons of Lights on Stratford has absolutely made all that hard work and perseverance pay off. It's something that the whole crew realized when we first opened this particular exhibit was none of us had heard groups of laughter for what seemed like years, but it was definitely over a year, and all of a sudden it was here again. So it's just really an honor to be able to uncork that and provide this experience in a safe way for guests and visitors and locals alike to help us get through this challenging time. I have to applaud the Lights on Stratford crew, and in particular Kaylee Christofiak and Sean Poole, who helped us solve a lot of the technical issues with Sky Castle. When it did eventually arrive, we were all just so overjoyed. But then it was a difficult install. We had just wicked winter weather, high winds, minus 30 degrees, but they persevered, and it was important for us to get the Sky Castle up as quickly as possible so that the community could benefit and enjoy from having this delightful experience. This is the second annual Lights on Stratford, and it started off as an economic recovery initiative to help in the here and now, but it's grown to something much, much bigger. This will continue as an annual event, and it's really important in our tourism sector to actually have a year-round tourism economy. Stratford does very well in the summer, but by adding this kind of cultural experience in the most challenging time of year, which is in the winter, really gives us a robust year-round tourism economy to come out of this pandemic even stronger than when we entered into it. So Lights on Stratford is definitely a community endeavor, and that also applies to the lighting displays themselves. We have a portion of the festival called Shareable Moments, and there are some incredible lighting displays at our local retailers, restaurants, at the Gallery Stratford. The public library has an amazing interactive light display where you can actually connect with your phone and control the lights at the Carnegie Building. So it's just really heartwarming to see the community come together, not only to enjoy the experience, but actually to take part in delivering it as well. So planning has already started for the third annual Lights on Stratford Festival next winter, and we've learned a lot. So it's always going to be a combination of lighting displays using local talent and made in Stratford philosophy, and having that combined with the amazing and incredible international lighting displays and artists that are out there. And so the marriage of those two things and leveraging Stratford's amazing park system and unique historical downtown core is really a winning mix that we're happy to continue into the future. Lights on Stratford is obviously embraced fully by our local residents, and the community has been so supportive, from corporate sponsors to individuals and obviously patrons that will come and partake in the lighting displays. But we're also in a unique time where there's a very captive audience within the province of Ontario. And we've intentionally and carefully designed this festival to safely welcome those folks here during this time of the pandemic. So we've had people from all over Ontario come and safely stay in Stratford, help the local economy as we navigate through this pandemic, and really leverage Stratford's reputation as a cultural destination of choice.